Sahanam Bhunaktu Savaviryam Karvavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Samastajana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Puranamuna Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambattvamanusandathami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangha Padakramo Panishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam na vidusura suragana Devaya tasmai namaha Devaya tasmai namaha. So 8 steps how a human being gets into bondage we saw yesterday, and brooding over the sense objects it starts. So how does a wise man live in this world? There was one question which Arjun had asked in the 54th verse, when he asked that how does a wise man sit? How does a wise man move? How does a wise man speak? So yukta asita matparaha. So he is sitting with devotion in his heart, moves about in the sense objects. So though the world around him is still the same, though it is the same for the wise man and for the common man, the world around is not different. But still the wise man is not bound by it, is not tempted by it, does not get attached to it. Why? Because earlier it was said, Yukta Asita Matparaha, one who has devotion in his heart. Now it will be said that even though enjoying the sense objects also, still the person will not get bound. What is the secret of that? We will see that in the 64th verse. Raga Dvesha Viyuktaistu Vishayanindriyaischaran Atma Vashyayirvidheyatma Prasadamadighachati. So the secret is Raga Dvesha Viyuktaistu. Without Raga and Dvesha, the person interacts with the sense objects and the world around. Vishayan Indriyaischaran. With the senses, person is still enjoying, seeing good things, eating, tasting, smelling, touching. So the senses are being still employed. But they don't create any raga and dvesha in one's mind. Raga means special attachment or a strong like. Dvesha means a strong dislike or aversion. So the person does not have any special attachment towards any object or aversion from any object. Atma Vasher Vidhe Atma. Ever self-controlled, content with oneself, by oneself, the person lives in the world. Just like we have no raga and dvesha towards the toys of childhood. We don't get attached to them, nor do we run away from them, because we have outgrown them. Same way here is a wise person who does not build raga and dvesha while transacting with the world. So what binds us actually is not the objects. What binds us is not even our mind. What really binds us is raga and dvesha. If I can learn this art of interacting with the world without raga and dvesha, my problem is solved. What happens to us is the moment we interact with the world, either we create a strong like towards something and we want its repetition, or we create a dislike, no, this is not good and I don't want this. So next time it comes, again the mind is agitated. So this raga and dvesha which is created, constantly it is created. With objects, with people. And that raga and dvesha is actually what is causing the problem. Because whatever I am attached to, I will brood over it. Yesterday what we saw, dhyayato vishayan pumsa. If I like something very much, then I will start brooding over it. That how nice if I can have this again. How nice if after a stressful day I have this kind of an enjoyment. One will brood. And that brooding creates the downfall. Do we brood on everything? No. Only on those specific things towards which we have raga and dvesha. And we brood over things which we have aversion towards also. We don't like something, or we don't like a particular person. And suppose there's an occasion of that person coming that day. Maybe in some meeting or in some professional work or in some party. Finish, the mind will start brooding, I hope this person doesn't come. No, I don't like this person. Why this person comes every time I get disturbed. And the mind starts brooding. So what is the difficulty is the raga and dvesha. That's why he says raga dvesha viyukta istu. Without raga and dvesha, when a person interacts with the world around, the world has no capacity to bind us, no capacity to disturb us, no capacity to agitate us. How will that happen? We have to neutralize this raga and dvesha. It is a strong like or a strong dislike. Always it is that a strong attachment or aversion or a strong like or dislike is the extreme. It is not possible to completely eliminate raga and dvesha. Only a realized master can do that, because one has woken up to the truth. But as a sadhana, what we can do is try to minimize and neutralize raga and dvesha. Now, how to do that? There are a few points for that. One is that one must enjoy what is permitted. One doesn't say in spirituality, don't enjoy the world at all. At every stage of life, there are certain things which are permitted and certain things which are not permitted. So if I find out those, what are the permitted pleasures? For example, it is said that for a student to be focused on knowledge, one must not have too much of sense pleasures. Basic things are fine, but more and more sense enjoyments one goes into, the mind gets oriented towards that. So focus on knowledge. So when we understand that okay, focus has to be knowledge, and so these are permissible, these are not permissible. Even according to the age, certain things one is not mature enough to handle at a certain age, so it is not permissible at that time. After some time it is permissible because one is grown. So what is permissible? First one must restrict oneself to that. Today what is happening is, in the name of being open, in the name of being independent and trying out, one is enjoying anything at any age where there is no maturity to handle that. Naturally it will affect the mind. So first I restrict myself to the permitted pleasures, which can be also need based. That is it even necessary? today when we say this, it may appear very difficult or impractical also to do. Because do we enjoy whatever is permissible and whatever is need-based? We go much beyond the needs. So when we have to restrict ourselves to the need-based enjoyment, a lot of unnecessary things will just go out, which could create raga and dvesha. So a phone is used for communication. The need is to communicate. And okay, the need is also, we are living in a modern age, so maybe take pictures, take some videos, all that. So certain basic things which are there is fine. But how much of raga and dvesha because of that one equipment? I am just giving one example. The same thing applies to so many other things. Clothes. How much of attention goes towards the branded items and expensive clothes, expensive things, and there is raga and dvesha built on that. It's very strange that we have forgotten certain basics. We need objects or objects need us. Objects have started defining my self-worth. If I have the branded t-shirt and branded shoes and branded goggles and branded phone and everything branded, I feel superior. Somebody else does not have that. One feels, I don't have these things. So objects are defining my self-worth. That is because of raga and dvesha. Because attachment is built towards that. If this, then I am of a certain status and I am certain superiority or a certain feeling of eliteness, whatever. Nothing wrong with having those things, but do I define myself with those things? Then there is a problem. So here he says raga dvesha viyuktestu. One is to restrict with what is need based, what is permissible. Second is, while enjoying it, don't strengthen the feeling that I like it and I must repeat it. Enjoy it and drop it. If I strengthen that feeling that this is so nice, how I wish again I may get it, that is building the raga. At that moment I can enjoy it thoroughly and I can drop it. Next time when it comes, it will come. I don't have to crave for it. That is called living moment by moment. Otherwise we live more in memory actually. We don't live moment by moment. Because we are brooding over something which I want to repeat. Or which I don't like, I want to run away from that. So this I like it, I don't like it is not to be strengthened. At that particular moment, enjoy it. If one feels nice, this is very good, appreciate it, but then drop it. Nothing wrong in appreciating. Suppose you drink a coffee. What is that coffee? Starbucks coffee. Very bad. Somebody says. One impression is that somebody else's mind it is this lovely. I can wait for 4 hours to drink that one cup of coffee. When I'm drinking it, I may enjoy it. It's so nicely made and the aroma and the taste and whatever. Enjoy it. But let not that thought get into the mind that happiness is equal to Starbucks coffee. If that equation is formed, that is called raga. Then I will want that same thing. Then I will get attached to that. Then the coffee which is made at home with so much of love by my own spouse will not taste Starbucks coffee. But the raga and dvesha has got into the mind. So enjoy it, but without strengthening this thought that I like it, I don't like it. The stronger version of I like and I don't like is raga and dvesha. And small children nowadays they use that expression. Mom, I don't like you, I hate you. Why? Because that something that the child wanted did not happen. The mom didn't give. He wanted chips, mom didn't give chips. I hate you, mom, I don't give me chips. Right? How much in small child, how much of raga and dvesha is created? Sometimes it is just a tantrum and childhood phase, it goes, but sometimes it is actually strengthening raga and dvesha. So, raga dvesha vipta is to, one is to see if I can limit myself to the permitted pleasures, need based enjoyment. Second is, while enjoying it, let me drop, let me not allow this thought that I like it, I don't like it, that labeling need not happen. Third is, one should definitely do in one day at least one thing which one doesn't like, but which is good for oneself and others. Don't say that I don't like to hit my spouse, but you know what to do. Swamiji said one day, one thing, do, go and give one slap. One thing which, see, the idea is to neutralize what I have already built in my mind. I don't like Bengal. Please eat Bengal today. I'm just giving one example. I don't like to get up early. Even a person, suppose I don't like a person. Instead of thinking that, this person is bad, I don't like this person, I don't want to meet this person, why this person is coming in front of me, it's very irritating. What is the point of thinking that? Can I neutralize that dvesha? Okay. If there is something which is bothering me, I need to sort that out mentally. Maybe forgive that person, maybe accept that person. Maybe if required, keep the relation only to the transaction level. There is no need to go out of the way to be extra loving and polite, but no need of a dvesha in the mind. So if I have to meet such a person, then I can neutralize my dvesha. So every day one thing if I do, and this is a method that Vivekananda used to say, that every day do one thing that you dislike but which is dharmic. That is the way a seeker can get out of raga and dvesha. And you see the flexibility of the mind after that. Anything that life brings, one will be able to accept. Otherwise, you see the limitation of raga and dvesha. Person who has strong raga and dvesha can enjoy only half the world. That also not properly. Because I will enjoy only what I am attached to, I like. Rest of the world I don't like, so I am running away from it. And even in what I like, there are specific things only which I like. So what is the level of my flexibility? Is so less. Naturally there will be sorrow. Because everything is not going to happen according to my likes and dislikes. So these are a few points. And the best part is, we have seen earlier, if I can inculcate devotion in my heart, raga and dvesha will just melt away. Because devotion is so powerful that I will accept whatever life brings, I will accept. Because it is coming as a prasad of the Lord. And that's why he says here, prasadam adhigacchati. That person attains peace. Prasad literally means what? That which settles down very well. Sad means to sit. Prasad means to quieten down completely. So the moment I get prasad from the temple, all the agitations of the mind quieten down. Because it has come from Bhagavan. And whatever comes from the Lord, I will accept. The temple priest may give me laddu, may give a tulsi leaf to somebody else, one drop of water to somebody else. And all of them will accept that. Nobody will say, "Arey, usko laddu diya, mujhe kyun laddu nahi diya?" This has come from Bhagavan, straight away. So if I have that bhavana, the idea of going to the temple and getting that prasad is one of the main reasons is that whatever comes from Bhagavan, I am able to accept. Now this same thing I must carry forward in my life. That whatever comes from the Lord. Let me accept. I don't know if I have given this earlier, but even if I have given, it's good to repeat. Formula for happiness is acceptance plus independence is equal to happiness. If I have acceptance in my life and if I have no dependencies in my life, I will have happiness. So the more I am able to live in acceptance, the more spiritual I am. It is not about doing this many malas of japa and wearing some special marks on the forehead and special color of clothes and doing some special rituals, that is extra. Not extra, that is a means. But the key is, am I able to accept life as it comes? So acceptance plus independence is equal to happiness. And what is the formula for sorrow? Insistence plus resistance is equal to sorrow. The more I insist that this has to be like this only, and if something is not like that and I resist it, I don't want it, I don't like it, I don't want to accept it, sorrow, guaranteed sorrow. And that's why it is that sorrow does not depend on the situation outside. Sorrow comes to us because of non-acceptance of the situation outside, because I don't accept it. However tough the situation may be, if I accept it, okay, this is what it is, I know how to deal with it next. But if I don't accept it, my energy goes only in fighting that why this happened to me, I don't like it, this should not have happened, I am such a good person and still this happened to me, God is partial, and all that keeps happening in the mind. Ultimately, what has to be done? After all this emotional drama, what has to be done? Accept it only. No? I can't change anything. Why go through all that emotional drama? Wisdom is, let me accept. This is how it is. Right now, this has come now. Accept. So, acceptance plus independence is equal to happiness. Insistence plus resistance is equal to sorrow.
Could you elaborate on the independence?
Independence meaning no dependency on anything for happiness. That only if this I get, I will be happy. Only if that person is there, I will be happy. No dependency psychologically. Functionally, yes, there will be some dependency. That I need to depend on people to get some things done, all that. A driver is required to drive the car, maid servant is required, all that is a functional dependency. But so many times that functional dependency becomes a cause of psychological dependency and sorrow. Maid servant did not come, finished. Everything goes for a chaos. Anyway, so the point is acceptance. Here is a wise man who is able to accept life as it comes. Why? Because raga and dvesha is neutralized. See, what we do is we try to keep accepting life, say that, oh no, I should accept. Intellectually, I keep telling myself I should accept. But in the heart, there is strong raga and dvesha. Till that raga and dvesha does not melt, acceptance will be impossible. I will only accept selectively certain things. And I will not accept certain things. Hence, spirituality is to neutralize this raga and dvesha. All the concept of tapas, vrata, japa, dan, upvas, maun, all this is to reduce raga and dvesha. I have attachment to speaking, let us say. Then do maun vrat. That maun vrat is not to boost my ego. Otherwise, there are some people who say, see, Swamiji, every Monday I do maun, For the last 30 years I have done maun every Monday without compromise. But I compensate for it in the rest of the 6 days. What is it? Raga and dvesha must reduce, neutralize it totally. So if I am attached to a particular type of food, then I say I refrain from that. And if I don't like a particular type of food, I will eat that constantly. So that way raga and dvesha must get neutralized. This is all practice. When Geeta says that we do all these, this is all hard work. This is real spirituality, that undo all the attachments and aversions. Then see the way life will be. Nothing in the world has the power to make us miserable. Nothing. We become miserable only because of our insistence and resistance. Look at that great saint, Jesus. For no fault of his he was crucified, but he never asked that question that why me? They were waiting for that Messiah to come. When the Messiah came and he said that I am the Messiah and I am one with the Lord, they crucified him. He never said why me? Why? Complete acceptance of life. Prahlad never said, why me? He never said, I am a victim of child abuse and my father only is torturing me and trying to kill me. None of that. It's complete acceptance. So acceptance is one of the important key.
But you can't at the same time take abuse, right?
No, that you stand for it, you
Yeah.
fight against that, that is a different matter. Nobody is saying, the very Mahabharata war itself is to fight against adharma. One is not saying accept everything, meaning become complacent and allow any nonsense to happen around you. No, one is not saying that. But even this war, why Arjuna is in this situation? Because of his raga and dvesha. He is not able to accept that Bhishma and Drona are standing on the opposite side and I have to kill them. Such strong raga towards Bhishma and Drona. And always remember, if raga is there in our life, dvesha will be there in our life. It is not possible to have only one. It is an offer, 1 plus 1 free. So you have one, another one will come. So both will be there. If I have dvesha, raga will be there. That's why I have to neutralize both. In neutralizing both raga and dvesha, one is not trying to run away from one's duty. By neutralizing raga and dvesha, one will become more steadfast in one's duty. The moment Arjuna's raga towards Bhishma and Drona, he could recognize and he could let go of it. Did he not become steadfast in the duty that I will fight the war? But under the influence of raga, what happened to him? Took a wrong decision that I want to quit. So raga and dvesha is not to make us, acceptance is not to make us complacent. In fact, acceptance will make us more steadfast in what I am supposed to do, because now it is very clear that this is my duty and I should do this. There are no two thoughts about it. Without acceptance, without raga and, with raga and dvesha, I may have a certain oscillation. I will do it only if I like it. A student who has a strong attachment towards, let us say, a sport, his duty is to study. But the person will not be able to do that because a strong attachment is there which will keep pulling. At the moment that person is able to neutralize that, play when there is enough time, enjoy when there is, having done all my studies and duties, and go and play, no issue. So then that person is able to focus more on the duty. So acceptance is not equal to complacency. Acceptance will make us steadfast in our duty. So now, having said this, a person whose mind is peaceful because of this acceptance, only such a person can go deeper in meditation and can know the higher self. You know why we struggle in meditation? Because we have not neutralized raga and dvesha. So the mind keeps wandering. And then meditation becomes meditation. You become mad because the mind runs here, there, everywhere. It only goes into these two places. Either to something which one strongly is attached to or something which one doesn't like. That's why the third option is cultivate devotion in the heart. So that it will go towards the object of love, which is the Lord. Beyond raga and dvesha. So here he says in the 65th verse that prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate. That when a person's mind has learned to accept things as they come, all sorrows will get destroyed. Hanirasyopajayate. Prasanna chetaso hyashu buddhi paryavatishthate. One who is cheerful in mind, one who is peaceful in the mind. That person's intellect also is very, very sharp. That person is able to think in subtle ways. That person is able to go deep in meditation. And such a person only will attain that absolute peace. So he goes ahead in 66th verse and says that na asti buddhi ayuktasya. A person who has not integrated oneself, meaning who has not removed raga and dvesha from the mind. Knowledge is there, but a lot of raga and dvesha is there which doesn't allow the person to apply that knowledge. So when people ask that we know so many things, but how to apply in daily life, that application will happen spontaneously effectively the moment raga and dvesha I start neutralizing. That is what is blocking my application. If I neutralize this raga and dvesha, instantly I will be able to apply whatever I learn. What is the block is that raga and dvesha. But I know anger is bad, but I still have raga and dvesha towards somebody or some things. And in spite of knowing, I can't live in peace. Because I have a strong attachment towards something, and that itself will cause anger. And I have aversion towards people and things, again that is a cause of anger. So till that is not neutralized, I can't apply. One of the very important ways to neutralize raga and dvesha is to stick to the concept of duty and do it with selflessness. Raga and dvesha will go away. And that's why Karma Yoga, the next chapter, is so important. Because in duty there are no likes and dislikes. If I can stick to the concept of duty, that I have a duty towards my family, towards my nation, towards my company, I have a duty. And that duty does not depend on my likes and dislikes. I have to do it. An army soldier has a duty toward the country. It doesn't depend on his likes and dislikes. Because yesterday, one soldier who attained martyrdom, he was there in Kashmir. He was scheduled to return home for Eid. But he said, no, my country needs, so I will be there, protecting that post. And he became a shaheed. Because the concept of duty, that how important it is for them to come back home to celebrate Eid. It is a festival and everybody would look forward to it. But look at that steadfastness in that. That he was there at the post, doing his duty there. So when I do my duty, that definitely helps to neutralize raga and dvesha. So I don't have to go out anywhere else. But staying where I am, if I do my duty and do it with a higher purpose, with the bhavana that I am serving, I am giving. When we do our duty with the sense of self-importance, that I am doing this and I must be recognized and without me this won't happen and nobody is appreciating me, I keep doing all the work, hard work, and nobody even bothers to take care or take notice, then that is boosting raga and dvesha. But if the same duty is done, and you see this will apply in everything. It is my duty to take care of the body. If I have to do exercise in the morning for 30 minutes, I must do it because the body needs it. If I do the duty towards the body, there will not be raga and dvesha. But if I do the exercise only when I feel like doing, then I am strengthening raga and dvesha, body will also go through trouble. Same way in my work, same way in my relationships, everywhere. So duty is a very, very powerful concept. Especially our whole culture actually is based on duties. It is not based on rights. Spiritual culture is based only on duty, that each one must do their duty irrespective of others do it or not. Because generally our question is, why should I do? That person is not doing. And why should I do? I should do it because I want to neutralize my raga and dvesha. It is not dependent on the opposite person. When I have love towards my child, do I even bother whether the child is doing his duty towards me or not? I just do. Because that is born out of love. The duty becomes enjoyable when it is born out of love, and I will do it. And that helps me to reduce raga and dvesha. So he says here that a person who has done all this, the mind and intellect is so pure and sharp, that person will have the bhavana to know the truth. And by that pure feeling, when one goes into meditation, one will realize the absolute truth and liberate oneself. On the contrary, a person who has not reduced raga and dvesha, so he says, na asti buddhi ayuktasya, a person who has not reduced raga and dvesha, that buddhi and the mind and intellect will be distinct, separate from each other. Nacha yuktasya bhavana. That person will not have the feeling for self-knowledge or feeling for Bhagavan, because one already is in conflict. What I know and what I am doing, what I am feeling is all contradicting each other. So that person, naja bhaveta shanti, that person will not attain peace, because within the personality there is a conflict. All the layers of the personality are not integrated. This integration of the personality is called as yoga. From there comes the word yukta. If I don't integrate my personality, in my own personality there are so many conflicts. Moment by moment you may observe that happening. Rasgulla comes in front of us and the tongue says, come on, eat it. After so many years this Rasgulla has come and the wife is not around. Just take it quietly. Nobody knows that you have diabetes. Just eat. So the tongue wants that. And the mind says, eat, eat, eat. Intellect says, don't you dare touch it. Your sugar is already very, very high. And even if you take insulin, it is not going to help you. Just don't touch it. But the mind says, for 3 months, I have lived in self-control. Little is okay. I can't try. The spiritual path says that you learned just now raga and dvesha you should reduce. What are you doing here? So 2 parts of the personality are saying do it. 2 parts of the personality are saying don't do it. And between that the mind is, the person is pulled. Ashanti is there in the personality only. So a very nice line here is Ashantasya kuta sukham. A person who is agitated, where is happiness for that person? So if you think about it, the definition here given is very nice, that happiness is equal to peace and peace is equal to happiness. Happiness is not maja maja, that is excitement. That's why if you ask a Gujarati, how are you? Kem cho? What will he say? Maja ma. All the time maja ma. Why? Because enjoy. Philosophy of life is khao piyo mauj karo. Dhokla, fafda, jalebi, gathia. Nothing wrong. I myself am Gujarati. But the issue is no raga and dvesha should be there. If Sunday morning you don't get jalebi gathia, doesn't matter. Eat upma. How does it matter? But no, Sunday morning one must have jalebi and gathia. Then there is raga and dvesha. So happiness comes by peace of mind. The more the mind is peaceful, the more happy the mind is. Happiness doesn't come by desire fulfillment. So ashantasya kuta sukham. A person whose mind is so disturbed, where is happiness for that person? So if I want to really be happy, I must integrate my personality, I must learn to become peaceful. Those who experience the joy of japa, of meditation,
That's what we call it contentment.
quiet. You can call it contentment also. Santosh. So those who experience that joy, they know that yes, that is our true nature. From outside what comes is only some temporary tickling of senses. That lasts for how long? That's why many people eat sweets at the end of the meal. Why? Because they want to elongate. As long as possible that sweet taste must last. But Gujaratis eat with the food. Because we don't have that attachment. We eat along with the food. For us everything is sweet. Except rice, sometimes in rice also. Except rice, in everything sugar will be there. Dal also, sabji also. Farsan and rice are omitted.
Swami, is contentment equal to lack of ambition?
No. That's a very different topic altogether, ambition and contentment. Contentment is not opposed to ambition. When I am contented, I can grow more actually. Not based on personal ambition and personal insecurity, but based on inspiration. When I am contented, I am inspired to achieve higher things. I will achieve. You see, important point is to know that the nature of life is growth. What people think is contentment is equal to complacency is equal to stagnation. So if I have contentment, I will not grow. If I want to grow, I should not be content. And what a horrible philosophy that is, honestly. I am hungry for more. I am not satisfied with what I have. Okay, keep being hungry. I can enjoy what I have and then grow higher. Then I enjoy both. The joy of achieving some great things and capacity to enjoy what I already have. Out of that joy, I grow. Out of that inspiration, I grow. Do you think a small child grows out of competition or out of ambition? No. The child grows because the nature of life is growth. So anyway, I won't go much into that topic. There's a separate talk altogether on that. Ambition versus contentment. It is not actually ambition versus contentment. It is ambition based on contentment. That's the way to live actually. How to live on the basis of contentment and keep growing higher and higher. Then that greed will not be there. The problem in our society today is that when I don't want to be contented, I will be greedy. Then how much is enough? There is no line. And even after achieving that, one is still feeling this is not enough, more is required. Then that is the issue. Because I have not learned the value of contentment and growing on the basis of contentment. So anyway, so the point here is that if I learn to accept life as it comes, mind will be peaceful. With that peaceful mind, I can go deeper into the spiritual path and come to know the self and liberate myself. Next two verses he goes about explaining cautioning actually, not explaining. He cautions that why these senses are so powerful. So don't get carried away by these senses. Don't just let loose the senses. If you don't have the control over the senses, our life will be like a boat which has no boatman. What do you call it? Boatman? Malha? No, Majdar. Mallah. That boatman is not there, so it will be tossed about. Same way a person who does not have sense control, the mind will be tossed about by the senses, by the sense objects. One will have no control over it. So this we have seen earlier, so I am going to skip that and come to the 69th verse. 69 and 70, these are two analogies about a wise man. Let us see what he says here. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagarti sanyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. So he says, Ya nisha sarva bhutanam, that which is night for all beings, tasyam jagrati sanyami. The wise man is awake. Yasyam jagrati bhutani, and that to which all the people are awake, sa nisha pashyato munehe. That for this wise man is night. So if you literally take this shloka, it means that the wise man is a night watchman. When everybody is asleep, he is awake. When everybody is awake, he is asleep. Or he must be working in some call center. What does this mean actually? Ya nisha sarva bhutanam. That to which all beings are asleep. Sleep is characteristic of ignorance. In sleep I don't know, I can't see clearly. Darkness. So when it is said that all the people are asleep, what are they asleep to? They are asleep to the self. That there is a self in me, I am asleep. I don't even know about that. And that self in me is the same self in everyone, and that is indestructible self. These names and forms are only temporary. that I am awake, that I am asleep to that fact. And what the world is awake to, the world of excitement, the world of enjoyment, the world of sense pleasures, the world of achievement, to that this wise man is asleep. Meaning that the wise man knows is a play, it is going on. But the real substratum is something else. It's like the movie. Everyone knows that the reality is what? There is only one screen there. There is nothing happening there. Even when I am seeing the movie, one knows very clearly that this is an illusion. So one is aware of that fact. And one plays, one enjoys that movie. Those who don't know that fact, or they forget that fact for some time, they get so completely identified with it. And you will see some of them crying. Why? Because so much identification is there. Because one has forgotten that actually nothing is happening, it's just an illusion, it's going on there. There is only one plain white screen, that's all. So we are asleep to the self and awake to the world. Master is awake to the self, asleep to the world. Asleep to the world meaning not that he doesn't perceive all this, but even while perceiving all this, one knows that actually this is only the play of the one indestructible truth. Like when we are seeing the ocean and we see the waves rising and falling, those who know very clearly that this is water which is indestructible, they will not feel miserable. So they know that this is just a play going on. But if there is a wave which is identified with its own form, I am a small wave, I am born on this and this date and I am growing and now there is a time for me to die, then there will be misery, there will be sorrow. Because that small wave is not awake to its own indestructible nature. So what this shloka tells us is this, in brief, that we have to have that vision of the self and wake up to that vision. That what is that indestructible self in me, which is of the nature of supreme happiness, which is of the nature of infinite bliss, which is what I really seek actually, but which I don't know. The master is awake to that. Once Buddha was walking, going from one village to other. As he entered a village, his face was so calm, serene, peaceful, and there was a certain presence that he had. As he was walking, the villagers they saw, and they wondered that who is he? So they asked him that, are you God? He didn't reply. Then they said, are you a prophet? He didn't reply. He kept walking. Then they said, you are so peaceful, it looks as though you remain absolutely undisturbed at all times. Are you an angel? He didn't reply. Finally they said, are you some saint? He said, no. Then who are you? And he said, I am awake. That's all he said, I am awake. Meaning, you are also the same self, I am also the same self. It's just that I am awake to that, you are asleep to that. So wake up. This is what the scriptures tell us, that wake up. Wake up to know that reality. Having got a human birth, if I wake up to know that reality, I have freed myself. I have achieved what is supposed to be achieved and achieved fulfillment. How much ever success I may achieve in the world, fulfillment does not come till I know the self. And that fulfillment is what makes a person completely satisfied. That having achieved that, there is nothing more to achieve. This whole question, what next, dissolves. So here is a person who has woken up to that fact. So this is one analogy. And the second analogy is of the ocean. That this person is like the mighty, vast ocean. This verse has a different meter, so I am going to split. Apuryamanam achala pratishtham samudramapaha pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantimapnoti na kamakami. So who attains peace? It is said here that here is a person who is like the vast ocean. When the rivers are in floods and they pour gallons and gallons of water into the ocean still remains same. And when there is scorching heat and lots of water is getting evaporated also, and there may be drought in other places, even in that situation the ocean remains same. So the analogy here is that here is a wise man who is like the ocean. Any amount of sense inputs may come to the mind of that person through the senses. It neither makes that person excited nor makes that person depressed. That person remains unaffected, and the beauty of the ocean is that it is vast. It is very, very deep. These waves are only on the surface. Deep ocean is very, very deeply rooted. There is no waves there. So here is a person who is so deeply established in that truth that nothing of the world can disturb that person. Ramana Maharshi, even in the World War II was going on when Ramana Maharshi was there, and he was unaffected, absolutely peaceful and blissful there. Not because he doesn't care, but the realization that this master has is so deep that even such a mighty crisis does not shake that person. Why? Because from that person's standpoint there is only one absolute truth, and all this is only an expression of that. Just like all the waves are expression of only the water. One who sees the water will not fret and fume about waves rising, falling, nothing. So deep is the establishment in the truth. So this is the example of how a person attains that peace of the self, which is what in the Bible they call it as the peace that passeth all understanding. It is not peace of mind, please remember. Peace of mind comes and goes. And peace of mind is necessary at one level, which we saw earlier, that through acceptance I become peaceful, and through peaceful mind I go deeper into meditation. What one is seeking, one should ask oneself, am I actually seeking peace of mind? Because peace of mind comes and goes. With great effort one will feel peaceful for some time. Again something will happen, again mind will get disturbed. The goal of life is not peace of mind. The goal of life is transcendence of the mind itself, and abide in that which is beyond the mind, which is the self. The nature of that self is peace, shanti. In the Upanishad it is called as Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. It is the nature of that truth is peace. Peace of mind comes and goes. But peace of mind is the stepping stone to peace of self. Here is the person who has established oneself in that peace of the self, that nothing can disturb that person's mind ever after that. That is the state. That is the final goal. Which is what we say, that when the ego is dissolved, when the mind is transcended, in that state of meditation one experiences that. That person experiences real peace. He says, sa shantim apnoti, na kama kami. A person who is trying to fulfill more and more desires, that person doesn't attain peace. It's a false notion to think that when all my desires will be fulfilled, then I will be peaceful. It will never happen. When all my problems will be solved, it will never happen. There is nobody whose life is problem free, nobody, including the realized masters. In fact, if you see the problems in their life, they are much more than us. But how are they able to handle it? because established in the peace of the self. So strong is their abidance in the self that nothing of the world will ever disturb. Just compare this to our mind. One small little thing, somebody didn't reply my SMS, I feel offended. They must reply immediately. Somebody did not smile, finished. So, little things can disturb our peace of mind. Here is a person who has not only attained peace of mind, but has gone one step ahead to dissolve the ego, establish in the self. So, these are two analogies. And finally, we come to the last verse. Esha brahmi sthiti partha nainam prapya vimuhyati sthitva syamantakaalepi brahma nirvanam richati. So the Lord concludes this 18 verses of Sthita Prajna by saying that this is the state, Brahmi Sthiti, this is the supreme state, O Partha. Having attained this state, one will never again fall into delusion. What is that state? The state of abidance in the self, the peace of the self. Till I don't attain that, I may fall back into delusion, into ignorance, into bondage. Because peace of mind is not enough. Sthitvasyam antakalepi. While one is striving to know this truth, suppose one has not yet attained that truth, even in the last few moments of one's life, if one abides in that truth, Brahma Nirvana Vritti, that person is liberated. So the message here is that don't give up. Don't say that Abhi to Swami ji bahut gayi, thodi rahi. ये जन्म में तो मोक्ष हो नहीं सकता. We anyway believe in reincarnation. Another jnana. Don't. Even last minute, one moment before death also, if one can get that abidance in the truth, one is free. Why again get into the womb of the mother? How much pain that is? No need. So one meaning is antakale is that keep striving till the last minute. Don't bother about age. It is a mental process. And I have to keep doing that. Devotion I increase, surrender to the Lord. All that I keep doing. It is not about abhi to itna sara padhna padega. All that is not required. Surrender of the ego is required. Whatever brings about that. So till the last minute, keep striving. Don't give up. Because every effort that I put is rewarded. Every thought that I think in that direction is rewarded. It is not, nothing goes for a waste. Every thought, every feeling will have a result. So I must keep doing that. Keep putting efforts. This is one meaning. Second meaning is antakala also means the end of the ego. In the state of meditation, when the ego is destroyed, having destroyed the ego, and realize the truth, one will never come back. Meaning one will never fall back into bondage. It's like waking up from the dream. Once I wake up from the dream, then I realized, oh, that was the dream only. So that way here is a person who has woken up and attained that supreme state. And the last verse here is telling us that we must strive to attain that truth till the last minute. So with this we conclude the second chapter. We will just take this Sankalpa Vakya. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Sankhya Yogo Nama द्वितीयोऽध्यायः सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः. So next month we start the chapter 3. 3 days we will see the essence of Karma Yoga, and the dates are 11th, 12th and 13th. So before we conclude today, we have been doing satsang here for so many months now, every month 3 days. This Chinmaya nursery is founded by Puja Gurudev's inspiration, and it was founded by the mother of Jagdish, and today also happens to be Jagdish's birthday. So we are going to sing a birthday song. In Chinmaya Mission we have a tradition that Swami Tejomayananji, our Puja Guruji, has written a birthday song. So we don't sing happy birthday to you, we don't sing that. We have a very nice song which invokes the blessings of the Lord, of the Guru Parampara. So we will sing that and we will wish him. So those of you know, you can join me. Janma dinamidam ai priya sakhe shantanotu te sarvada mudam prarthayamahe bhavashatayushi Ishvara sada tvam cha rakshatu punyakarmana kirtimarjaya Jivanam tava bhavatu sarthakam janmadinamidam Hai priya sakhe shantanotu te sarvadamudam sarvadamudam. A small token from all of us. Wish you many, many happy returns of the day.
So much. I didn't expect this to get up on me.
That's what happens. Bhagwan brings. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om